Welcome to San Francisco Chinatown Food Tour. This video, we go beyond the tourist attractions. Today we skip the tourist shops and take you to 5 hidden gem foodie places.
It's the places that locals like to go.
We team up with sidewalk food tours to give you the places where the food is inexpensive but good.
We also expose some hidden stories that help build this neighborhood. Okay, let's go. House of Dimsum looks a little bit like a hole in the wall, but it's got good food. You'll see. Let's go inside.
Served family style, we start off with some spinach dumplings that are seasoned very well. Next up is the traditional shrimp and chive dumpling, sometimes called crystal shrimp dumplings because of the translucent wrapper. Jin Dui, a sesame ball with lotus paste, is a family favorite. Soup dumplings have hot water on the inside that squirts out when you bite it. House of Dim Sum is a casual place with some seating outside as well as upstairs. Now we're in Portsmouth Park, sometimes called the Chinatown Neighborhood Living Room.
People come here for community, play games, and have people singing over there. It's a beautiful day too. This here is the first place an American flag was raised in San Francisco, in Chinatown now. Yummy Bakery is another hidden gem here in Chinatown. It's not a place that you're going to find on TV, but it's got the kind of desserts you just can't stop eating.
There's often a little line, but note that it's locals.
The reason why they call it a pineapple bun is because the top, the crispy top, has that crisscross pattern that looks like the skin of a pineapple. This pineapple bun has custard and pineapple, like chunks of pineapple in it. All right. It's the only place that I know of in San Francisco that has a pineapple bun that actually has pineapple in it.
Part of the amazing history of Chinatown is it didn't used to look like China. It was a slum originally, and then after the 1906 earthquake, the city decided it's kind of valuable land. They wanted it, so they wanted to kick the Chinese out. Chinese said, no, we'll make Chinese buildings, make a little China, and it'll be a tourist attraction. It worked. Now we're going to the House of
Xian Dumplings, also known as Xian Noodle House.
Right next door, you'll see the House of Peking. It's on TV a lot, so it's very popular. But that's right, we're not going there.
Now, Szechuan peppercorns are famous because of their numbing effect. All right. Spicy? Yeah, it's a kind of spicy, but it's a numbing spicy. So it's like you won't be able to feel your tongue. All right.
Here you see the Buddha bar, and in the background there you can see Lipo. They both claim to have started Mai Tais, invented them. The Lipo is famous and has been on TV and crowded a little bit, busy. The Buddha bar is more of a locals place. Serves up a mighty fine drink.
In the book Joy Luck Club, there was a character, her name was Waverly. And in the book she goes, oh, I was named after the street I grew up on, which is Waverly. Waverly is like the center of Chinatown.
The Kam Lok Restaurant is definitely a hole in the wall. You have to go downstairs to get into it. But like a lot of places, don't let the outside fool you.
After some refreshing tea, our sit-down dining experience starts with spiced tofu with a crusty outside and a light, soft, warm inside. The green beans are packed with chilies and onions. The rice dish has salted fish, eggs, and cabbage. Salted fish may be an acquired taste. The grand finale is Peking duck with water buns.
Sticky buns, right?
With the Peking duck, you make a sandwich with the soft bun, sauce, and green onions.
Ross Alley has an infamous past, but nowadays it's home to the fortune cooking factory right down the alley here, and there's always a line. Sure enough, there's a line outside the fortune cookie factory. It is worth it if you've never gone. They have different flavors you can purchase, and you can actually write your own fortune and have it put in a fortune cookie. Now we stopped by the Double A Bakery. It's got what some call the best custard cakes and what some people might call the number 2. There's not much seating here at the Double A Bakery. What we're going to do is get our food here, and then we're going to go over to the Muni Station, open deck. Perfect for a little picnic.
Double A Bakery, their egg tarts is balanced. And as someone who is supposedly a martial artist, I like balance. That's zen, you know? Not too much this, not too much that, right?
Looks good.
This is that layered crust, the layers and the complexities of all that butter and bacon and whatnot. Now,
Iconic actor and martial arts expert Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco Chinatown, and there are murals that honor this San Francisco favorite son. Bruce's father was in a traveling Cantonese opera show that performed in San Francisco. All the Chinatown locations we visit today are close together. Screenshot this map.
and it's a free tea tasting. All right, which is kind of nice, right? You want to hear about this specialty?
Yes.
So, when I was in China, this was this white boy knows tea, we need to impress it. And so it's a green tea that they grow in a high clay soil, which gives it a very strong floralness. But it's very similar to the daily drinking Iron Goddess King that's everywhere. So they over-oxidize it, they overcook it, and that brings out the floralness of the tea, really makes it pop. And that means one of two things happens. It either becomes intensely floral. I get gardenias, orchids, and stargazer lilies. I've heard hyacinth and violet. I've heard jasmine and tiger lily. I've heard it's so rosy it tastes like crashing a wedding. But for 40% of people, it becomes earthy, reedy, grassy, swampy, brackish water, a lakeside, a driving range, or... So part of the joy of tea and engaging in the act of tea or tea tasting is finding what do you get? Is it a bouquet of flowers? Is it rosy? Or is it just duck shit?
Thanks for watching. Check my channel playlist for other San Francisco videos.